Hey pen friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Devin. Today's video is going to be one that I'm very excited about because I haven't done a video like this in almost 9 months, so it's very much overdue. This is going to be my notebooks and stationery I've used up video, I believe number 5 in the series. If you haven't seen the previous ones, I will have them linked off in a playlist in the description box below. The most viewed video here on my channel is actually my 11 ways to fill your notebooks video, so I'm guessing that you guys already get it. Like, there's this sense of satisfaction and joy in being able to say, like, yes, I used up all the pages in this notebook, I used up all the ink in this pen, and I like doing these videos also because I'm able to give more thorough feedback on how that particular thing performs. First, let's talk about the notebook that I used up, and this one I feel like it still counts, and the reason why I'm hesitating is because it's a disc-bound notebook, so technically it's refillable, but I used all of the pages that it came with, and I think at some point I even added a few pages. So this is my Tool disc-bound notebook. I've talked about this in previous videos. It's one that I absolutely love and adore, and I think if you haven't used a disc-bound notebook system before, you might want to give it a go. It's sort of like a hybrid between a binder and a notebook. So you're able to move around these specially hole punched pages and sort them as you prefer. So I used this notebook originally to keep track of all of the reselling that I was doing. I have a video on that as well, and I'll leave it linked off in the description box below, but I like to resell things on Poshmark, Mercari, OfferUp, and because I was using so many different apps, it was difficult for me to keep track of what I had listed where. So I created a little system in my Tool disc-bound notebook to keep track of where everything was, when it sold. More recently, I've been using this notebook to practice a new language that I'm trying to learn. I've been using this app called Duolingo. It takes you through different exercises, and I found that I really liked writing down the phrases and new words that I was learning. I just liked that I had those pages to reference because of the way Duolingo is set up. So it gives you a certain amount of hearts that you can use, and each time you miss a question, they take away a heart, and it becomes very stressful when you lose all your hearts because then you can't meet your goal for your practice for the day. And that's kind of going off on a tangent about the app, but again, that's kind of where my notebook came in and saved the day because I was able to reference any words or phrases that I had already learned in a previous lesson but maybe forgot. Really, that's what helped me finish off all of the pages in this notebook. And what I absolutely love about this notebook is I can just pull out the pages, archive them, and refill it and be able to use the exact same cover. All right, let's go ahead and talk about pens. This is the Miniso Clear Demonstrator Fountain Pen with an extra fine nib, and I use the air quotes because I feel like it leans a little bit more fine to medium. I have talked about this pen on my channel numerous times before, and you guys are probably sick of me talking about it, but it just keeps coming up because it's one of my favorite pens to write with. As you can see, it's already been inked up with something new, but prior to that, it was just using the black ink cartridge that it came with, and I think at some point I had refilled that black ink cartridge. I say that just to further emphasize the point that I use this pen a lot. It's something that I can go to time and time again and know exactly what I'm gonna get out from it. It's just a very smooth, bold writing experience, and it performs well on various types of paper. I'm not fully equipped with fountain pen friendly paper and notebooks. I do have some paper that leans more on the cheaper side, I guess, more suitable for like gel pens and such. But for me, this pen has performed really well across all those different types of papers. I think I had mentioned this in my 5 fountain pen recommendations under $5, and I just think that if you're getting started in fountain pens, you're not necessarily ready to cough up that much money, and this is pretty much a spot-on replica of the Chula Vista at a fraction of the price. So Just try it out if you haven't already. And on the flip side, if you're already a ways along in your fountain pen journey, I still think that this is worth checking out. It could be great for testing new inks. Maybe you could just keep it in your pocket or purse for when you're like out and about and you don't necessarily have to worry about it as much you would a more expensive pen. So another fountain pen that I used up, or I used up the ink cartridge in, was my Daiso fountain pen. This was also featured in that 5 fountain pens under $5 video, and I had it inked up with the Papier Plume Red Beans and Rice. It's such a stunning, rich red color. That ink was actually sent to me by my pen friend Daniel, so Daniel, thank you so much. I'm still very, very much enjoying it, and I like that ink because it stands out from what I have in my current ink collection. It's very pleasant to look at. I really enjoyed that ink with this pen, and this pen is something that I've talked about a lot on my channel as well. I feel like my opinion on this pen has changed a little bit in that I feel like it's not superb for longer writing sessions. The aluminum body is uncomfortable for me to hold for that long if I'm doing something like morning pages. And I think the body, while it's very petite, it's not the most ideal size for, again, a longer writing session. So I much prefer this if I'm just writing in my planner or I'm scribbling down some notes very quickly. I feel like it's a really affordable pen, so if you're just the least bit curious about getting into fountain pens, this would be one to consider. This next pen is one that I've talked about a lot on my channel. I feel like that's just the theme of this type of video, because if I haven't been talking about it, then I'm most likely not using it regularly. Anyways, I mentioned this in my top favorites of 2019 video, and it is the TWSBI Pastel Pink Eco with an extra fine nib, and I had it inked up with Troublemaker Inks Milky Ocean. To me, that is the perfect pairing. I don't really see myself inking this up with any other color, and that might be a little close-minded of me, but it's just that good. As you can see, the piston has been extended fully, and that's so that I could get every last little bit of that ink when I was writing with this pen. Originally, when I got this pen, I thought I was going to try to ink it up with something pink because the pen is pink, and you know, sometimes I do get inspired to do the matchy-matchy type thing, but I like the Troublemaker's Milky Ocean in here. It's quite pleasant, and I think it's because that ink does lean more on the pastel side, so it still fits with the pastel pink eco theme. I love it. I definitely recommend it. What? We got a regular pen in here? Yes, we do. It's the Uniball RE erasable pen, and I had it inked up with a Tool gel pen refill. It's in hot pink, and as you can see, there's just that little bit left. It's already dried out. I've tried scribbling with this thing, but I was using this pen for my strength training program, so I kind of just had it looped around that notebook, and every time I worked out, this was the pen that I used to, you know, log whatever I was doing that day. This is a good pen, don't get me wrong. Erasable pens do have a special place in my heart, and Disney, this has that magical Disney touch on it, and I'm a sucker for that. I really don't know how to describe how I'm feeling. This is a great pen. The Tool gel pens are really great pens if you enjoy non-fountain pens. I think when I used up the rest of the ink in this pen, it was satisfying in a way that was different from my fountain pens. This was sort of a sense of relief, like, I finished it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can like put it away and not have to think about it. Whereas with my fountain pens, I'm excited to use up the ink in them because I want to be able to refill it with something new, or be able to, you know, flush it out and try another fountain pen. So that's kind of where I'm at in my stationery journey right now. Let me know if you share the same sentiment. Also, it's a little bit of an older video, but if you want to see some different refill hacks for your pens. I do have a video on that as well. I'll leave it in the description box below. This little stationery tidbit is not a pen, but I've used it quite a bit with my pens. This is my little Twin Stars correction tape. I got this in one of my Tokyo Pen Shop character kits. I was very surprised when I finished it up. I've been using this a lot with my tool disc bound notebook because the white, it matches the very white paper in here. I feel like it's hardly noticeable. And I had to whip this baby out quite a lot when I'm doing my little Duolingo practices for the day. So perhaps that's what really helped me finish it off. I'm a little sad. I'm a little melancholy about finishing this up because I don't know where I would be able to buy refills for it. If you happen to know, let me know. It's by Sunstar. And I'll admit that correction tape is probably not as thrilling to talk about as my fountain pens and notebooks that I've used up, but I feel like it's still pretty rewarding and satisfying to say that I used up all of the correction tape in here. It's kind of like an eraser. These things usually go missing before you have a chance to use them up, and I love Twin Stars. I think they're so adorable. What stationery have you guys used up recently? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I mentioned earlier, I like doing these types of videos because there's just that sense of joy and accomplishment when you're able to stick it out with a piece of stationery for that long. I feel like it's so easy to get carried away with wanting that new thing, wanting the thing that just came out. And in the stationery world, you know, we are not immune to feeling like we need all of it. And the truth is we don't. We don't need it all. We just need what sparks joy and what we feel good about using. So I don't know, that might be going off on a controversial topic, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with a pen friend who you think might also enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and to turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss any of my videos. You guys can also connect with me over on Instagram. My username is @DevinLu, DEVNNLUU. I know that's kind of confusing, but that's what it is because there's already a DEVINLUU on Instagram. So that's not me. I also started a TikTok account. It's an app that's kind of taking over my life right now. So if you want to connect with me over on there, my username is @DevinLu, DEVNNLUU. I do my best to upload here every Thursday evening, so please take care until then. Feel free to enjoy these two videos linked here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!